to the brim.
I'm ready.
Okay,
I'm ready.
good.
Well, what do you think? Wet hulled or washed? Washed and wet hulled, or just washed?
I think wet hulled.
Wet hulled. Yeah. Yeah, it strikes me as it's a very clean. I don't get any mildew for sure, or mustiness.
Yeah, you know, I know a roaster. It's not this roaster, but I know a roaster who's very proud of the fact that he tries to find Sumatras that are less earthy. He said, I know they still have the cedar a little bit, and I want that. But he said, I definitely think there are some Sumatras that are too earthy.
It's lovely. It has a kind of in structure, it has a kind of round, deep sort of sensation.
Yeah.
There's definitely the most wonderful sweet cedar.
Isn't it?
I'm getting.
Yes, I know.
The around and underneath is all of these other subtle, there's of course a caramel, but a kind of like what we used to call a kid dark caramel.
Yes.
Definitely a kind of a cocoa-ish.
And cocoa, yeah, absolutely.
Dry chocolate. That beautiful, sweet cedar note is so dominant that I'm having trouble. I love it. I'm enjoying it so much I'm trouble getting around it.
Yeah, what else is there? It's really eye-catching.
I think there are floral top notes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some low-toned, sweet, obviously all flowers are sweet. A lily, I guess. Some kind of lily. We'll be able to tell better when we taste it, but there's probably a kind of a savory, kind of a brothy note underneath at the base. Oh, it's beautiful. Because it has a big range, you notice? It has, if you were doing a musical analogy, it has kind of a bass note, kind of brothy, savory character. And then it goes right up to flowers with the cedar right. Sweet cedar right in the middle. And chocolate. The chocolate seems to be coming out to me. What fruit? Do you get any fruit? Fruit. I want to say prunes, but prunes are kind of a boring fruit. So I don't want to say it because it's too pleasant for prune.
No marketer in the world uses it.
I'm thinking that probably plum.
Plum.
Even though
plum would be good. Yeah.
And I think it's honest. It's in there.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
Okay.
It's
all right. Let's give it a sip. You couldn't wait.
Oh man! Wow.
Lovely.
Just wow.
You know, it occurred to me that the change that we often note between the nose and the cup is reflected by the fact that when you taste, you're still getting the nose, obviously, because you're breathing the aromatics, but you're also getting the hardwired basic tastes. And one of them in coffee is always bitterness. Coffee, apparently, even there are sugars in the cup, that's not how we get sweet. We get sweet from associations with flowers and fruit and so on, or chocolate, other things that are sweet. But you definitely get bitterness, and so you get the bitterness gives it authority, but for me dampens the aromatics.
Man, it's got that tang of bitterness, but it's certainly not making it any less attractive. It does, in fact, it just something about it makes it seem substantial.
Yeah, gives it authority.
Yeah, authority.
And there's a little bit of astringency, drying sensation. Mm-hmm. I'm not a fan of the dry sensation. I don't like dry white table wines much, for example. But other people like it, and it certainly gives this cup authority. And again, I think one of the ways that you can cite as proof of quality in a coffee is the finish.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting a very nice finish.
Very nice.
In this coffee. And like the cup, it's deep, resonant. Yeah. It keeps going. It tends to sweeten, of course, as it prolongs. Yeah, lovely. Classic, I think what somebody now would expect from a Sumatra, not what somebody would have expected 20 years ago. Updated. I hope it's wet hulled.
I'm not purposefully setting you up. I mean, I I looked for wet hold because I knew how much you like them, and I knew you, and I have come to realize it is much of what I like in them.
You have any other comments on it before we look at it?
No, other than it's just got and the cedar somehow turns into the cup, into the taste buds. I know my tongue and my nose, they feed off each other, but they're not identical. Yeah, to me, it's a very, very nice coffee that's got, and people typically tell me Sumatras aren't bright enough for them. I don't know. I don't find that. I find a coffee like this is really nicely balanced.
Mm-hmm. Talking about the technical term often is acidity.
Acidity, yeah.
And I would agree that there's enough brightness or acidity, that sweet tart sensation, there's enough of that to keep it alive, give it resonance and depth, make it vivacious and alive. We haven't talked about the body because, of course, another standard trait that people cite for Sumatras, substantial body or mouthfeel.
Sumatra coffees, a sense of weight about them.
Let's not generalize into the cup, go from the cup to the generality. And I would say that, yeah, this has a kind of a viscosity, sort of syrupy character.
Oh, yeah.
That plays well with the Sumatra stereotype.
Yeah, I think it's revelation time.
The Roastery. Okay, Sumatra Mendiling, LT.
Yeah.
What is that, light?
It
says washed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely says washed. Although I spoke to them, and this was one of the roasters, I said, it says washed, but is it, I think in some other content there, let's see, it says raisin and spice. Okay, here we go. Brown spice cocoa, bold with a creamy body, rich and smoky in the finish. Okay, I'll go with that. And then, but I didn't find anything about wet hold on it. But let me see if on the back, I noticed we've got a label pasted over the back. Well, I don't think there was any content on the back actually. They said, they thought it could be. In fact, I think the person came back to the phone and said they told it makes sense now. They said to me it's washed and wet hauled. So in reality, right, they are doing what you say they should be doing, and I just got confused because right, I'm like, well, which is it? Come on, which is it?
Yeah, I think it's a very, very carefully performed wet hauled coffee. It must be difficult for the producers to get the right balance. They probably want a clean cup, but they want to keep some of the complexity and innuendo, the ambiguity of wet hold style. They have to tread carefully, but whoever did this one did a good job.
Dennis, can you go in on this a little bit more? I just want to point out something that I do know something about, just for a moment, just a moment of wasted airtime. I do know this. This is a DC-3 or a C-47, a Douglas commercial airliner. I might not know whether it's wet hold or...
You know your airplanes. You know.
Sure know my airplanes, yeah. Well, I think we're off to a good start as far as I'm concerned. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more shows like this.